What's up, everyone? This is the GameFans Podcast, number 15, the one before 16. I'm your host, Mark Hearn, and we've got Nick Cosmedes and Ashley King in his house. PlayStation 4 yields are supposed to be phenomenal, better than anything you've ever done in your life. Monster Hunter 4 sold over 2 million copies in Japan in just 4 days. It's selling thousands as we speak. Microsoft has come out to... Microsoft bought the domain name Xbone. Even though they don't like the name, they own it. There you go. So, we got a lot to talk about. Plus, Grand Theft Auto 5 is available to buy. Podcast number 15. Let's do this. Got a lot of news to talk about here. Since Sony said Sony's yields are phenomenal, you care to tell us how phenomenal they are, Nicholas?
Well, I couldn't tell you because these are the marketing words. I'm throwing up some air quotes from Sony's Jack Tretton. And, as we all know, these executives, they are marketing these consoles. So, you have to take everything with a grain of salt. But, of course, I do believe most of the stuff he says. He's not lying about things. Of course, their yields are phenomenal. The whole point of that statement was to say that the pre-orders have been so, phenomenal, so high that the amount of consoles that they could make are pretty much all sold already for these pre-orders. And I think that's something we all could have assumed. But Sony has said they have over a million pre-orders worldwide. And that was actually last said a while ago, so I'm sure it's considerably more than that, but I haven't heard any new number. But yeah, Jack says that they can pre-sell every unit that they manufacture, and that's pretty crazy. So all those of you out there hoping to get a console on day one just by walking in a store like shortly after release day, you may be out of luck.
Good thing I pre-ordered from Amazon.
I know,
because you love Sony so much, we know.
So if you haven't pre-ordered, definitely try and find a retailer online or off, whatever.
Mark, you calling me a fangirl?
Calling you a fan something.
Moving right along.
EA's Battlefield 4 joins Ubisoft's offerings in this next-gen upgrade thing. That's what I'm calling it. Again, more air quotes. That's been going around. So for just $10, you can purchase, and I'm not going to use the word upgrade, but you can purchase the digital version of Battlefield 4 for PS4 when you buy the PS3 version from select retailers. They haven't elaborated on which retailers yet, but I'm sure we'll hear more news as we approach the official launch of PS4 in November. So we'll obviously get back to that. But I think, Ubisoft's Assassin's Creed and Watch Dogs are all but confirmed. I know there's more than that for Xbox One from Amazon and GameStop. So I'm sure we'll hear more titles. And this may be something that, after these consoles are released, that we hear more about for future titles.
Yeah, I've got a feeling that it's going to pretty much be the exact same titles on both systems.
Yeah, I do too.
They just keep announcing them a few weeks apart, like it's something different.
I think it's really all about how they're going to do it for each particular platform, and since it seems that they're doing a digital thing, where at least on Sony's consoles, if you buy the physical version, you get to keep that, but then you pay $10 and you get a digital version as well. Versus the Xbox One retail versions are, that deal is a slightly different deal. So again, moving on. This one is very controversial, and I know, Mark, you're going to have to say a few words about this because I'm curious of what you have to say. But yet again, the topic of which next-gen console has the most power rears its gnarly head again. This time, developers are saying the PS4 definitely has 50% more power than the Xbox One. This report came from a site called Edge Online, who right out of the gate didn't name their developer sources, which is suspect, but at the same time, I can understand that. The developers want to protect their own name. The devs claim that the difference is, quote, significant and, quote, obvious between the two, citing that the PS4's ALU, otherwise known as Arithmetic Logic Unit, did I say that right, Ashley?
Yes, you did.
Is around 50% faster. The example given suggests that without either console optimized, a platform-agnostic development build can run at around 30 frames a second in 1920 by 1080 on PS4, but it'll run at 20-something, and that's again quotes, frames per second in 1600 by 900 on Xbox One. Developer further is quoted saying Xbox One is weaker and it's a pain to use. It's SRAM. So I'm curious what you guys think about all that.
Propaganda.
Yep.
It most certainly probably is. I think it's if that final quote is true about difficult to use the ESRAM, that's interesting because Microsoft supposedly beefed that up.
Mm-hmm.
So.
So first of all, we have to look at the developer, and since we can't look at them because we don't know who they are, that is like kind of thrown out the window.
Of course.
So, but if we give this mystery developer some credit, then we can only assume that they know what they're talking about. But at the same time, maybe they don't. Maybe Edge Online spoke to a first-time developer, and they don't really have that many years of experience working with, ESRAM and resolutions and all this stuff. Maybe they just don't know what they're doing. Maybe they've been coding for Mac and have not had any releases because of that, and now they're trying to code on PC. Basically with the x86.
I just say this: it seems like a really sketchy scenario. Yeah. Of an anonymous source or several anonymous sources, because they said developers.
Yes, they did.
Several anonymous sources repeating a rumor that's been going on for months now.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like a page view grab to me. Not trying to question anyone, but it's just like when you repeat rumors over and over again. This isn't a new rumor or new story. This is something that has been said before. A guy from Microsoft, Albert Pinello, addressed the whole power thing.
We talked about that last week.
From Microsoft's perspective. And here we go with the same rehashed rumor. And this stuff gets really old. I mean, it's not even so much about it being an anti-Xbox thing, but I can spin that to any technological platform, from wireless to mobile. Like, the iPhone's going to have a fingerprint scanner. The iPhone's going to have a fingerprint ID reader. You're saying the same thing. It doesn't. So, I mean, I think it's propaganda. And if you notice, it's really sketchy, like without the consoles being optimized. So what's the point of even talking about it then?
I think that's like a baseline comparison. So saying not optimizing the systems for whatever reason, that's a base. So comparing apples to apples is what they're saying. But since the comparison is all based on performance, not optimizing the systems and not presenting that data is very relevant. I mean,
and then we've got guys like Mr. Carmack saying both consoles are so close to one another.
Yeah.
Somebody who has a name in this industry.
But then that's questionable too, because I mean, hasn't he favored PCs and Xbox for a while? Coming from id Software.
Well, he said the Xbox One was easier to develop for. I mean, not one. Mm-hmm. Sorry, the Xbox 360 was easier to develop for.
Sure.
And that was supposedly the going premise with that. I don't develop video games, just like how you gave the example of people earlier. So I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know which is easier from a personal experience. But my whole thing is, the guy openly said it. He said he questioned, Kinect and the longevity of it and things like that. And it's just, here's the thing. I say this, wait till the systems come out. Because from what I've seen from both sides, I haven't seen anything to separate the two. And I know it's early out, but they're both starting off at the same time too. If one was significantly better, this is what's weird. Everyone says like, wait till like last time. You're seeing more at the end of the console cycle. They're both coming out the gate at the same time. If you're working with them, that means developers are. I guess you could say developers are working with them at the same time. They've had the same amount of time with each platform, give or take.
Yes.
If something is better, it should show. I haven't seen anything on either side. I'm not saying, the Xbox is so better, or the PlayStation 4 is so. I haven't seen anything that really shows anything that makes me say, you know what? Oh my goodness, this looks like amazing, and this can't be this. I haven't seen anything like that. They both have
you brought up mobile, and you know how they do mobile benchmarks when a phone comes out? It's like the first thing people do to present factual data using a tool that is common and, accessible. And that's how they prove a certain handset has more power, despite whatever marketing dialogue the manufacturer spews out to media or whatever, or on Twitter. That rating there, that test they do, it proves it all. It proves it or disproves whatever they said. And so we haven't seen that for PS4, Xbox One. We can't. We're not going to see that till the system comes out. So I agree.
And there's not like a magic benchmarking app for it either. So it's not like how
we're gonna have to wait.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I'll say this, and this is my. You can say you can apply this to everything going forward about the power struggle between the two machines. They both have their pros and their cons. When it comes to hardware only goes so far without software. You can have an operating system and that only recognizes you can have a build of a tower with 16 gigs of RAM, but if your OS only recognizes 4 gigs of RAM, it doesn't matter. So I mean, there's pros and cons here. Yep. I think hardware and software play a role in things, and I think there are going to be trade-offs from both machines. I'm just excited that we've got 2 new machines coming.
Yeah,
I really am.
At the same time, no doubt too. Not a year, between. So great, thank you, Mark, for your your opinion on that. Let's move on.
Awesome opinion, yeah, that no one cares about.
So I also wanted to point out, was it yesterday? Naughty Dog, a member from Naughty Dog tweeted out a picture of 3 pallets containing 120 new PS4 dev kits, and this got a lot of attention, both in the media and just Twitter people, because we wonder what they're working on, and there's been no word about what Naughty Dog's working on. Everybody's anticipating, what, Uncharted 4 maybe, or a new IP. I don't know about Last of Us 2, but anything from Naughty Dog.
The Last of Us doesn't need a sequel.
No, it doesn't. But I'm just throwing that out there. Something. Everybody wants to know what all these developers are doing.
I think it'll be a new IP because they always bring a new IP each console generation.
They're working on
good point.
They're working on The Last of Us for the Vita, the port, so you can play it again. I'm sorry.
So this was just 120 new PS4 dev kits. No Vita dev kits on there, buddy. The last thing I wanted to bring up was site news on PS4 Daily. I've been throwing up some polls for the readers to vote on their most anticipated PS4 titles per genre, and round 2 was for first-person shooters. We had quite a few to choose from, and the top 3 winners were number 1, Battlefield 4. A close number 2 was Destiny, which is a multi-platform. Both of those are multi-platform. And then number 3 was an exclusive, Killzone Shadowfall. Round 3 was RPGs. The list was provided by one of our readers. And the winners were Kingdom Hearts 3, Final Fantasy 15 was a close second, and then Tom Clancy's The Division from Ubisoft. Round 3 racing. This one is weird because initially Drive Club was out in the lead, so to speak, with The Crew in a close second. But out of nowhere, Switch Galaxy Ultra has taken the lead, and a substantial lead, I might add, which raises my eyebrows because, again, out the gate, most of our readers didn't even know what Switch Galaxy Ultra is. And I know what it is, as I've explained to you two. Switch Galaxy is a infinite racer where you're stuck to, I think, 5 tracks, maybe 6 left to right. Sometimes, actually, the track widens and narrows, and you have to kind of snap to each of the tracks as you're racing forward, like a racing game. And you're switching back and forth to avoid running into objects like other ships or walls or whatever there might be, but then you're also collecting things the whole while. Game originated on iOS and Android by the name of Switch. It was later upgraded and high-resed for Vita, called Switch Galaxy, and now it's being brought to the PS4, being called Switch Galaxy Ultra. So all of a sudden, everybody, apparently really wants this game, and I'm hyped. It's being made by some of the developers that made Wipeout, and it kind of shares a lot of those cues.
I'm pretty sure the poll's been manipulated. People love to do that on the internet.
Yeah. Interesting. So I'll have to look into that a little bit more. But if it's true, then I'm excited that our readers are more excited about a downloadable game versus some big retail game.
Moving on to Nintendo news. This is something that was really big and just happened like today that I found out. Monster Hunter 4 was recently released in Japan, and in the first 4 days that it was released, it has sold 2 million copies. That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's just a 3DS title. There's no Wii U component like there was for Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. So,
how many people are there in Japan?
I don't know, but I feel like 2 million copies is crazy.
Well, because I do remember some stats being spewed out about, like, every person in Japan has an average of, like, 1.5 3DSs or something like that in their house. So, like, they have multiple colors. And I can't imagine them buying multiple, copies for one household.
Speaking of multiple colors, they're actually phasing out the black and white 3DS in Japan, which I thought was kind of strange, but those were released 3DS colors, and they get crazy with their colors over there, so they're not going to have the black and white 3DS anymore.
Sad.
It is kind of sad, because, I just got my black 3DS XL. Like, that was exciting news for me.
Pour one out for the black and white 3DS.
There you go.
If you're looking to bolster your Wii U Pro controller collection, Best Buy is having a sale on white Wii U Pro controllers. People are reporting prices as low as $22.99 in their specific locations. The online store for Best Buy.
Check that out.
Yeah, you'll have to check that out. The online Best Buy store has them for $34.99, so it's definitely local only. And I think it's Best Buy trying to get rid of local stock because Nintendo has announced the discontinuation of the 8GB white unit. So, of course, people are they're wanting to clear out their SKUs.
You think people are clamoring to get
since I'm
the last few white controllers out there?
At that price, there are a lot of people on WiiUDaily that said they don't care if the controller matches the color of the console. They just want the controller for Smash Bros. Or whatever games they happen to play.
That's a really stupid excuse not to buy one.
Yeah.
It doesn't match my... It's like, so... I don't...
You think it's stupid, though, but that's me. Like, I need it to match.
Well, they did release those gold controllers, too. Those don't match anything.
Everyone loved them. I thought they were hideous, but whatever.
Yeah. But, they didn't match anything, so...
No.
If they sold well. And I think that was the idea. Collectible.
I'll have to check this out because I'm going to Best Buy to pick up Grand Theft Auto later on this evening.
Yeah, look and see if you can find you a cheap Pro controller.
Yeah,
Spoilers. Show spoilers.
Yeah, Grand Theft Auto. It's happening, people.
No, we got to get to our Q&A time before you talk about that.
Well, I'll hush up now.
Something else people have spotted was a advertisement from Europe that showed a new Wii U bundle, and it has new Super Mario Bros. U and new Super Luigi U in the bundle. It is the black 32GB version, of course, and it's going for the same price, but it has 2 games. It's pretty substantial. Mark, you played Super Luigi U, haven't you?
No, I have yet to get that.
It.
No, I've thought about it, but it's like realistically right now, giving the fact that a game that I just mentioned that we're going to talk a lot about later is now available to purchase, I probably shouldn't be buying anything else until new consoles get here.
Mm-hmm.
It's that serious, people.
Oh, poor Wii U.
Poor everybody.
The bundle has shown up in European advertisements. We don't know if it'll make its way over here to the United States or not, but I think it's interesting to keep an eye on to see what bundles that Nintendo's putting out, because we already know about the Wind Waker HD bundle.
Yeah, we need some good bundles. The Wind Waker HD bundle is meh at best. The system is just a black system. I'm unimpressed.
A lot of people wanted a gold system. They really did.
If anything, gold is not what I would have asked for. Match that awesome embroidering or whatever you want to call it, the lacing of the gold paint around the gamepad, match that on the console, on the front. Yeah. At the very least, show some Zelda love on that thing.
Eurogamer Expo is going on September 26th to the 29th, and Nintendo will have a presence there too. But this time, instead of showing off their first-party titles, they're showing off several indie games, which is really nice to see. Sony's had a big push for indie games, and of course Nintendo too. For the Wii U, they've got Cube Director's Cut, Scram Kitty and His Buddy on Rails, Tengami, Knit Underground, and Coaster Crazy Deluxe. Of course, Nick knows Knit Underground.
Yep.
And on Nintendo 3DS, they have SteamWorld Dig, which is one of my personal favorite games. I highly recommend it. Shantae and the Pirate's Curse, Retro City Rampage, and Putty Squad. So if you happen to live in London or in Great Britain and you're going to Eurogamer, you could check out those games.
Yep. I highly recommend Knit Underground and Retro City Rampage. Of course, Retro City Rampage is already on Wii U, so that's not a new to Nintendo.
Yeah, some of these aren't new to the console, but they are new to their specific
regions
where they're going.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Brian Provinciano is just one guy who's making Retro City Rampage, and he's explained time and time again how difficult it is to release a game when you're just one developer, one guy, for 11 platforms or 17, some ridiculous number of platforms. And then on top of that, in different regions with different language supports, he's still one guy, and it takes a lot of money to do all that. It takes a lot of time, a lot of effort. And we have people looking forward to your title. You can't do anything but tell them, soon, people, soon. I'm working.
Indies. It's the thing to do. So, now that we've gone through Sony and Nintendo, let's talk about Microsoft. And I've been tasked with doing that. So, where do we start? Microsoft owns a new web domain name. Care to guess?
Is it Xbone?
Yeah.
No fooling you.
It's Xbone. It is not XB1.
Xbone.
So here's the thing: when people got all pissy about the Xbox One's particular policies and whatnot, the internet, being as awesome as it is, dubbed the console the Xbone. It wasn't an abbreviation. It was an insult. Because if you want to abbreviate it, you could just say XB1, like Nick just said. But it's more of a derogatory thing. So
derogatory. It just rolls off the tongue better by saying it in two syllables instead of Xbox One or XB1 or.
You could just say Xbox because nobody's talking about the 360 anymore. But you could just say Xbox. But anywho, XB1, PS4,
console.
Yeah, PS4, XB1, same difference, but the thing is this. I guess to eliminate any confusion or anti-Xbox One websites or anything like that, to stop that from happening, the company bought the domain name. The thing is, it was owned by someone else. Details are a bit sketchy about how this went down, whereas Microsoft didn't file any complaints against it, so it looks like this was actually a cash purchase. So someone is probably smiling somewhere.
$24.
The Xbone domain had been registered since 2000, so it's not like a person saw the internet going crazy over the Xbone name and decided to snap it up. I mean, they've had it for ages.
Yeah, so the thing is, I don't know the details of the cash being exchanged on this, but hopefully whoever saw fit to acquire that name many years ago, they got their money's worth.
Did Xbone.com have any other content on it prior to this purchase? Do we know?
That I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
I could see the Xbone being a product of some kind. And
I don't want to get into what kind of product that would be.
Let your imagination go wild.
Yeah, but angry folks like Ashley use that term a lot.
You make me sound so mean. It's like you're angry, you're grumpy.
Well, no, you're the one. Xbone.
Mark, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Xbone.
There you go. So Microsoft owns the right to that web domain address. I don't know if they I don't know if X-Bone's coming to a dictionary near you, but we'll see. So,
Doubt it.
Yeah, working our way down the news pipe here. Dead Rising 3 will not have load screens when changing locations. And keep in mind, the map for Dead Rising 3 is several folds bigger than the last two games combined. So that's pretty
That's
pretty
an amazing accomplishment for Capcom, simply because they are the king of the loading screen.
cool. Yeah. Or, no, that would have been bad. I don't want to say that. Never mind. I was going to say something else. So,
We love Capcom.
Yeah, but they had a picture of the last two maps sitting next to the map for Dead Rising 3, and it's huge. It's like looking at I don't know. I'm trying to think of an example.
Is it like looking at a 2DS next to a 3DS?
It's like no. It's like looking at an iPhone next to a Galaxy Note. No. It's like looking at retro
Plantain next to a banana.
Hardy har. We'll say this. You guys remember back in the day when before smartphones, when people wanted cell phones to be small and portable? You guys remember that? Little tiny flip phones?
As the owner of a Motorola Sliver, yes, I do remember that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Take that, set it next to a Note or an iPad or something like that, and that's how the map looked. It's huge, though. It's a huge,
the Galaxy Ultra, which is like 6.3 inches or 6.5 inches.
Yeah, so I mean, it's going to be pretty interesting to see. And the reasoning behind that, the Capcom says that they invested about 6 months worth of work into just resolving that to make the transition smooth. Because there's nothing better than running from a horde of zombies to escape the outskirts of town to enter a nice chunky load screen.
Remember,
I'm getting away. Loading.
The systems obviously have more power this time around, but Xbox One is going to have a Blu-ray drive, which means storing more content on a single disc, whereas creating a map that size before would have meant, multiple discs and swapping discs and stuff. And that's in the past now. We don't even have to bring that up anymore.
Yeah,
that's another exciting thing.
I mean, I don't know the sheer mechanics behind it, because I stated earlier with my disclosure that I am not a game developer. But whatever they did, I mean, it's a good look. I'm not a fan of load screens. I don't think anyone is. I don't know anybody out there who has a load screen.
Well, and there's ways you can mask it. There's ways you can hide it while you're traversing toward a mission or whatever. They can speculate you're going to be heading toward this part of the map, or they can load it, much like Google Maps loads tiles onto their maps. They can load tiles of the level. I'm sure there's different technical ways to do it, but yeah, none of us are developers, so I'll just shut up.
Yeah, but no load screens if you're playing Dead Rising. That's a highly anticipated launch game for the Xbox One, so there you go with that. Boom goes the dynamite. Let's talk about some rumors here. There's a rumor, I say rumor, going around that Microsoft is working on an answer to Apple's Siri, even though Siri is not really much of a question, but they are working on an answer to that. Thing is, there's going to be a voice recognition / digital assistant type thing, supposedly, for different Windows platforms and products, and it's operating under the alleged code name Cortana. And if I say Cortana and you're an Xbox person, we're talking about Cortana from Halo.
Yep.
So, I heard this rumor and I was a little apprehensive about it, but I thought about it. A few months back, there was a rumor that Microsoft was working on something to answer, to be like a Siri-like function for the Xbox. This was literally maybe a few weeks after the system got announced. I think this is right before E3. And now this rumor is surfaced, so they kind of line up. Again, it could just be a rehash of a previous rumor, because it's no one would do that, right?
Mm-hmm. But it's likely that there are details that are new. But
the codename Cortana, I mean, that would be pretty awesome if that is the case. I don't see myself necessarily wanting to hold a complete conversation with my Xbox or anything like that. Like, hey Xbox, how was your day? What did you do while I was at the grocery store? Nothing like that. But the fact that if they get her name is Jen, I can't remember her last name. Do you guys know her last name? Jen?
No. Cortana.
I should know this. I'm probably going to get get smited for this or whatever. But basically, the lady who does her voice, she has a very, recognizable voice. If they get her voice and, you can talk to the system, that's a nice little nod to the brand. So, I mean, it'd be cool to see if would you want to talk to your console? I mean, would you really want to do that?
Jen Taylor?
That's it. Thank you. I knew it was Jen.
Taylor.
I don't want to call her Jen.
Jennifer Taylor is in everything. How do you...
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. She has a very recognizable voice.
Oh.
Yeah. So, but would you want to talk to your console? Would you really want to do that?
No, that's why I don't want to buy an Xbone.
Well, it's not like that. It's going to be like, the Star Treks, like the deck, and you're just like telling it to do things, and it is maybe they just need a voice to respond to you, and then also, maybe you use the internet and whatever, and they're going to have Bing in there, and you got to have a voice for Bing. Yeah. And that will be the voice, and
Ashley doesn't want to talk to her console.
What's the temperature outside, and it'll tell you.
Ashley doesn't want to talk to her console. She just wants to rub on trackpads and play indie games. There you go. That's what she wants to do. But yeah, I mean, personally, I don't know if I want to, like I said, have a full-blown convo with my console or anything like that. But if they can play this, I'm not an engineer. I'm telling you, I'm clearing up my resume for you guys. I'm not a game developer. I'm not an engineer. I don't get paid to do that type of stuff. So if you can come up with an awesome reason why I need this, sure, I'll give it a shot. Make it an optional feature, sure. But, yeah. So supposedly, codename Cortana, it's, a voice system thingamajig. We'll believe it when we see it.
Yeah.
Kind of piggybacking off of what you said earlier, Nick, Activision has come out detailing how they're going to help gamers with their transition from current to next gen. And what they said is that they're going to have a digital bundle for Call of Duty Ghosts. So meaning it's going to be at select retailers, and you can also do it on Xbox Live. But basically, for $70, you buy the licenses or 2 codes from participating retailers, and you can download Call of Duty Ghosts for the 360 and download Call of Duty Ghosts for the Xbox One when it comes out. So they're going digital as well.
Downloadable. All right.
Yeah. So they're doing that. Also, there's another alternative where if you buy Call of Duty Ghosts for the 360, you can later download the game for $10 on the Xbox One. But there's a time limit on that. It's like March 2014. Like I think it's the 31st.
All this, from what I've heard, is all timed exclusive deals.
Yeah,
but I still think that going forward, this is going to be something that we're going to see more commonly, at least with new games on the early release, to get those initial purchases, those initial sales up high. Yeah,
but basically they're trying. None of this happened with the last systems that I can recall. I don't remember getting this kind of love.
Sony has their cross-buy platform, and that's something that I think other platform, other like Xbox and stuff, I'm sure they're looking at that going, that's a pretty sweet deal, if developers are interested. It's never really been something that the big titles have done.
Oh no, I'm saying going back with the last when the 360 and PS3 came out.
Yeah.
I don't recall anything like this. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well,
this is a first.
Yeah, both of their platforms weren't very established. Even the Xbox Live really wasn't as strong as it is now, and PlayStation Network was not even there.
Well, no, Xbox Live was going pretty strong by that point.
Not nearly as strong as it is now.
Well, of course not.
Lots of improvements and updates, and in its early days, it did have content and stuff compared to when the PlayStation 1 came out, or the PlayStation 3 came out. Sorry, the PSN wasn't really there. Like there was nothing. There were no trophies. There were it was empty, except for the cross media bar. There was nothing there. But I think that we're going to see a lot of this cross-buying stuff. It's good. It's good for the consumers.
This is true. I mean, Ashley, you feeling like chiming in at any point here, Ashley? I'm just saying.
Well, it's something that hopefully we see on Nintendo platforms too. I mean, you got 2 systems. You got the 3DS and you got the Wii U. And if developers are encouraged to make a game for both consoles, for both systems, I should say. For example, Retro City Rampage would be an easy example because it is available on Wii U. Let's say you bought it on Wii U, then you could be gifted it for free on 3DS when it comes out. and there you go. That's the cross-buy scenario.
Could happen.
You know?
Could.
Yeah, and
probably won't,
hopefully
but could.
Big developers are starting to chime in and say, okay, well, we'll do the same deal, but throw us $10 and we'll call it a deal. And that could very well come to Wii U. I don't see why not. I mean, again, it doesn't need to be $10. It'd be free like the PSN, where you can buy it on Wii U and get it for free on 3DS or vice versa.
Yeah, so it could happen.
Yeah.
And we've got one last little inkling of news here, and that's this. Microsoft confirmed that Forza 5 is 1080p, which has already been speculated and said, but it's been confirmed. However, Ryse, Son of Rome is running at a meager 900p, because we got to get technical with this, but it's being upscaled to 1080p. So cool. My thing is, everybody makes a big deal about next gen. I'm excited about it, but I'm thinking like this. When it comes down to it, I know it's early out. Maybe this won't be the trend going forward. I hope not, because you guys remember way back when the PS3 was coming and Sony said that every game is going to be 1080p. You guys remember that? Yeah, and people call other companies liars. But anyways, that didn't happen.
I think Ryse is probably a special case, though, because that was originally supposed to be a Kinect title on 360. And the fact that it's being upscaled to 1080 from 900 doesn't really surprise me, given that. Because I don't see them retooling what they had, but I can definitely see why they would scale it up.
Yeah, but they're saying that all games will be upscaled that aren't. But my thing is, everybody's boasting and bragging about how powerful their console is or how the future of console. And this is where PC gamers sit back and laugh and they say,
"Yeah,
silly humans."
This is pretty. In my opinion, it's pretty pathetic. I think we're at the point where we demand 1080p is the base. That's the minimum. That's the minimum requirement, and that was, in some cases, a minimum requirement for last generation. So why wouldn't it be the minimum requirement for all games going forward on this next gen? I've got a big screen HD TV. I want all my games to take full advantage of it, and it's not even like top of the line. It's not a 4K TV or nothing.
Yeah, I just look like this. There's so much boasting about specs and so much hissing and spitting going back and forth between Xbox fanboys and PlayStation fanboys and girls. But my thing is this: neither system is boasting, pure 1080p games right now. I know it's early.
Well, this isn't a system mandate thing, though. This is up to the developer, and it would be something else to see the systems be like, you have to do 1080p, But that would sort of alienate, I think, new developers that aren't, that don't have the resources to make 1080p stuff, I guess.
I guess, but my thing is this, though. I feel we deserve more, and
Yes.
And truth be told, I think Ryse, and I've said this numerous times, Ryse is a beautiful looking game. I've played the little demo of it and all that stuff. It's a great looking game, but it's just like I said, this is where freaking PC elitists like Ashley can jump in and say,
yeah, and there's gonna be people out there that are like, well, 900 to 1080, that's 180 pixels,
There's a huge difference.
But that's in one direction. Yeah, there's the other direction, which has a lot more pixels.
Yeah.
So, altogether, it's a huge difference if you're staring at various games in your collection on the same TV. I got 1080p TV, and if I go and play Forza 5 and that's 1080p and it looks gorgeous, and then I go pop in Ryse and it's 920p, I might notice it. Who knows? It's all up to the developer, and
yeah, so we'll
see what happens.
Hopefully they'll work this out as both consoles move along, because it's not just an Xbox thing. There's some PS4 titles that are there are a few that are sub 1080.
I'm sure a lot of them are 720p, and
So
they wouldn't lie about it.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll get it. At least they said it. At least he didn't try and do the PR, the PR thing, make the PR move and say, "Oh, it's 1080p." And leave it at that because it's upscaled. He actually said it because he knows the internet. He probably knows the internet can be unforgiving about stuff like this. Not just the internet, but just media in general. And it was, when I say he, I'm sorry, it was Aaron Greenberg, for those of you who are wondering. He stepped up and said it. Because he could be like, oh, no, it's 1080p. And they'd be like, you mean upscaled, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so that's that in a nutshell is your Xbox news. So, it's Q&A time. Let's talk about some stuff.
Well, it looks like we have one question here, right?
Yeah. So I can take a stab at it, or Ashley has a much more pleasant voice than I do, I think.
Mark.
What? Yeah.
Mark.
Yeah.
Did you get Grand Theft Auto 5?
Sort of.
Are you planning on getting Grand Theft Auto 5?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So here's the thing. Nick's not getting it. Nick said he's not getting it. I answered for Nick. I speak for Nick now.
I told the Ether I need money for Grand Theft Auto 5, and the Ether looked at me and said, sorry, buddy. You're out of luck. I'm a little broke right now.
Ashley, are you getting GTA 5?
Probably. I won't buy it immediately because I have been rather mediocre about the last few Grand Theft Auto titles. And it'll inevitably come to PC, and when it does, I'll probably buy it then.
But did you hear this? It's coming to Wii U.
Is it? Is it coming to Wii U?
I don't know. I was looking on WiiUDaily, and this guy wrote this post, and it was like, it's coming to Wii U. Did I read it wrong?
You read it very wrong. I think you did what you did. Yeah. So here's the thing. I'm gonna pick it up later on this evening. I pre-ordered it. It's a game that you got to get. I mean, you do. Even if the last one wasn't that great, I didn't really care for the last one, but you still got to get it. It's Grand Theft Auto. I mean, if you've played the other games, whatever. I'm not even a huge Grand Theft Auto fan, but this one does look intriguing, and there's been a lot of good things said about it. It's based on the West Coast. It's got that whole California vibe. I'm a SoCal native, so gotta check that out.
Yeah, it looks good.
Ashley's holding out for the next True Crimes game.
I'm holding out for it's coming on PS4, which is about as likely as it coming to Wii U.
If we're talking about open world crime games, I actually prefer the Mafia series. I feel like they tell a much better story.
Interesting.
I like those.
Send your hate mail to @Overlord Roar.
I thought you might have said Saints Row or something. Those have been pretty stellar.
Saints Row is way too silly for me. It's
over the top, yeah.
Comedy and craziness. So.
I heard the last Saints Row was really fun, though.
I'm sure it is really fun. It's just it's a mockery of most recent games. It's got like Mass Effect and it's crazy. There's aliens and you're the president of the United States. It's
superhero powers.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Like
supposedly
it's
in a dream state, so that makes it okay.
Yeah, I just look at it like this. I'm not a big Grand Theft Auto guy. This is more of a throwback to San Andreas from what I've heard and seen. Like it has kind of like some.
Well, it takes place in
cameos.
Los Santos, which was San Andreas.
Yeah, so I mean, and it just looks well done. And I personally feel that the last GTA was more like of a rush job in some regards. And this one is at the end of the PS3 and 360 life cycle. So there's a good shot that we're going to get what we come to expect from Rockstar and Grand Theft Auto. That's what I think. But I could be wrong.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I was pleasantly shocked to see how much content is in it, like just how much level. When you typically when Grand Theft Auto 4 came out, I remember seeing screenshots for it, right? And a lot of the screenshots looked the same.
Yeah.
But all the stuff I've been seeing for GTA 5, it's like there's so much variety across the world.
You can ride a freaking roller coaster in a game.
And just like playing golf and all those side sport activities you can do. Initially you're, I guess, robbing banks, you're doing these heists, but then there's also so much other stuff to do. And then the fact that there's 3 characters now and you can switch between them anytime you want to take over their existence in the world, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I definitely will
raise a drink for GTA 5.
That's what I'm talking about.
Let us know if you're getting it.
I'm going to be picking it up. I'll probably share my thoughts about the hour or whatever time I get out of this week to play it, but I'm going to pick it up for sure.
Hey, Mark.
Yeah?
I think we have a listener comment.
We do? Let's see.
I think we do. Ashley, do we have a listener comment?
Of course we do. Our rabid listeners always love to leave pretty good comments on WiiUDaily, and I appreciate that. So thank you for everyone that comments on the show. But last week we talked about digital games and whether we like to wait to play them, and commenter Fred said that he wanted to comment on this discussion. He said he's bought several AAA titles on Wii U, including New Super Mario Bros. U, Rayman Legends, New Super Luigi U, Sonic Racing, and NBA 2K13. He said out of all those titles, NBA 2K13 was the worst, as it was over 20 gigabytes. And he says he has some sort of workaround. Oh, digital pre-orders.
It was a suggestion, I think.
Oh, yeah, a suggestion. That's a pretty good idea.
He calls it a slick workaround, but it's really a slick suggestion.
Yeah, this is something that that Steam actually lets you do. He says, if they start offering digital pre-orders where you put $5 down on the eShop a few days before it's available and it downloads in the background while you do other things, or downloads after you turn the system off, then after it's officially been released, you pay the rest of the money and it's available immediate to play. Well, Steam does something similar, but you pay the full price up front, but Steam lets you preload games so that when the release date hits at midnight or whenever, you can immediately hit the button to play, and Steam will unpack the game, and you can play it.
Yeah, they do this on PSN now, too.
PSN does it also. They had a problem with that last game we just talked about.
GTA 5, yep.
Yeah. So I think that's definitely something neat, if they could figure out how to keep things from getting leaked from the games.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, there's a big issue with that, at least on the...
But, again,
GTA.
this is the thing where if Nintendo wants to catch up with the rest of, the society, I don't know.
The rest of the civilized world.
Yeah, but I mean, I've mentioned this before, too. Like, for Nintendo gamers, I could see them being shocked the most by the size of these files. And 20 gigabytes is massive.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is Nintendo's first HD console, and I don't think people realize how much space HD textures and HD sound, how much space that takes up on a disc. Mm-hmm. It's huge.
And you have to plug in an external drive to download this kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit on a 32 gig.
I mean, you could fit one game. I think I downloaded Lego City Undercover, and it was like 21 gigabytes. That's it. I mean, if I want to download another game, I have to plug in an external drive.
Yeah, that's why I originally said the 32 gigabyte system wasn't a big deal for me, because I'm going to put an external drive on the system anyways. Just saying.
Each his own, But it would be nice. I prefer not having to plug in too many things to it to make it work. I'd prefer an out-of-the-box, working thing.
I honestly would too.
I think the debate is 32 gigabytes doesn't really offer people the ability to download multiple games. Like, why would I buy multiple games if I really only fit one at a time? So people who download one game, they have to wait till they finish it to download the next.
Do you know why?
Why?
It's time for a rant. Here we go.
Oh.
Conspiracy theory much.
Transformers or something.
Yeah, I'm about to morph into raging Mark over here. So here's the dealio. Nintendo is not used to this whole digital age as much as the other two platforms. This is a theory. This is a crack job theory. I just made it up right now. Thing is, 32 gigabytes is a lot if you're buying retro Nintendo games, which they want you to buy.
Sure.
But they don't want you buying other people's games. You can buy, like DuckTales Remastered, I bought that. It's under a gigabyte. HD and all that stuff. If you buy an old Nintendo game like the Mario collections, those are all small. 32 gigabytes, more than enough for that. But when you buy one game and it's 20 gigabytes, it starts to be a problem. So, maybe we'll, I don't think we'll ever get a 250 gigabyte Wii bundle.
I don't think
they
it's
get
that
money
they
on
don't
licensing.
want people to buy digital games, because they have the Digital Deluxe promotion where they give you 10% off and you get those points back. And that's a great promotion. I've already gotten like $10 back on buying things digitally. And they offer all of their things digitally now. 3DS games, all of the Wii U games, first-party Wii U games get released. They're all digital. So the fact that they only have a 32 gigabyte console, it's not so much them not wanting people to do digital because they're embracing digital. It's just they wanted to keep costs down, and I feel like them going with flash memory instead of an actual hard drive was them trying to keep the cost down to make up for the extra costs that the gamepad had, and it kind of backfired on them because digital is so big these days.
Yeah, and then you have the whole the debate about heat. That's a platter creates heat and stuff like that.
So do you guys think that Nintendo ever maybe they're already working about it. You Ashley, you keep your ear closer to the ground with Nintendo, but is there any talk about a Nintendo-made external hard drive?
There's not any official talk about it, but I have to wonder, would they not take the 3DS strategy and say, okay, this is the Wii U XL. It comes with a hard drive. It's $100 more, but you don't have to hook up anything to it.
Nah, they won't be doing that anytime soon. They can't sell the current system.
How many people will be... if they do a Wii U refresh, though, how many people would be okay with that? I think a lot of people would. They're just used to that sort of hardware refresh with Nintendo and the handheld, and if they did it with home consoles, I don't think a lot of people would kick up stink about it.
Well, they did it with the last Wii. Remember the what's the one called? The one that you can't go online with?
The black and red one?
The Wii Mini.
Yeah, they did that, and you can't go online with it.
That's a downgrade. That's not an upgrade.
My thing is this. I think Nintendo needs to focus on selling its current console successfully before revising it in any way, shape, or form.
That may need a revision to
Yeah, it may need that revision.
So do you really think people aren't buying the Wii U because they don't have enough hard drive space?
I think that's one big reason.
That could be very well one reason.
There's
not any
we're
one...
talking about...
Of course you're going to say it doesn't have games. It doesn't have games. Okay, that's fine. But when you look at the actual hardware of the thing and you compare it to this gen versus what's coming next gen in November, it's kind of stuck in the middle. So we might see a revision before 2015, 2016. I don't know. That's up to Nintendo.
Well, you guys know that when you go to retail and you go to buy one of these consoles and you see them all side by side, one of the bigger things, second only to the actual title of the console, is the hard drive space. When you look at a PS4, it tells you big and bold, that it is a 500 gigabyte hard drive system. And you go to an Xbox One, it's going to say big and bold 500 gigabytes. And you go to the PS3, and you've got all those variations, the Uncharted 3 bundles that say 250 gigs or 500 gigs or whatever. And then that new one that's only 12 gigabytes. Like, it says that even big and bold for $199. So, with the Wii U right there saying 32 gigabytes, that's the biggest they have. I think that's a detriment when it's sitting next to all these other consoles. Not so much the 12 gigabyte PS3, of course.
Yeah,
that's just a terrible decision on Sony's part.
Yeah, I don't know why they did that. But if they had it, just think about this and picture it. If they had a 120 gigabyte flash drive Wii U sitting right next to the one that says 32 gigabyte, which one looks more appealing? Not looking at the price, of course, but obviously people are out there like, oh, that's expensive because 120 gigabyte flash drive is crazy expensive. But ideally, if it wasn't flash, it would be a lot cheaper. And hopefully it would be more than 128 gigabytes.
Perhaps the fact that if Nintendo truly is trying to, usher in the whole digital thing, perhaps they really do have the idea that people who really want more space would just buy an external drive. Maybe that's what they were thinking. I mean, like a lot of people boast and brag about how you can take you can upgrade the PS3's internal drive.
Yes.
A lot of people say, what's the big deal about having a small external drive plugged into your USB port on your Wii U and setting it on top of your console?
Mm-hmm.
What's the really big deal about that? I mean, does it hurt anything? No. And
once you own the console, it's not a big deal. But we're talking about new sales. So people who already own the Wii U can easily plug in an external hard drive. But people who don't own a Wii U may not want to buy one, surely for the fact that they are being told they have to plug in an external hard drive instead of just buy it, open it, plug it in, have it work.
Yeah. I just say this. What else are you going to use those USB drives for on a Wii U?
You don't need so many. I mean...
Exactly. So
take one out, lower the cost of the system.
Okay.
50 cents.
But instead of trying to solve Nintendo's storage problems, let's talk about what we've been playing.
Yes. I've been playing Disney Infinity. That's right. Disney Infinity.
There you go.
And it's pretty fun.
It?
Yeah, it's pretty fun. I super wanted to buy it. Unfortunately, I'm just borrowing it from a friend who's super nice, and he's like loaned me all his toys. It's silly that I have to have all these toys. That's the only thing I don't like is, like, if one of my kids takes a toy off the base and they're like, oh, look at that, and the toy goes missing, like, that's it. My character's removed from the game, and I'm, like, throwing my controller across the room at my kids. No, I'm not doing that. But still, like, it's a pain in the butt, man. I mean, and then worst case, they take the level thingy off the back of the base, and it just freezes or whatever. Like, that part I don't like, but my daughter loves playing it with me. It's a lot of fun. She likes switching the characters when we're doing, like, the toy box. She just likes changing up all the characters, like, back and forth and back and forth. It's kind of annoying. But because it's split screen on everything but the Wii, you can, just whatever. You can just do that. I mean, one person's playing the game or building or whatever, and the other person can, mess about any way they want. So it's a lot of fun. I highly recommend it.
Sounds pretty neat.
Other than that, I've also been playing a little Hot Shots on my Vita, and I cannot stop playing Killzone Mercenary. So I'm curious, Mark, did you get it?
Yeah, I did. I picked it up, and I've played a little bit. Game's nice. Doesn't feel groundbreaking. But it feels like a real shooter. I'll say that. But it just feels, so far it's okay. I've barely scratched the surface on this thing, and hopefully I will get to spend some more time with it. But that's going to be really tough because of that super duper awesome game that I've been waiting for. It's finally here. So. Grand Theft Auto.
Well, you have no excuses really yet because Killzone Mercenary single player is literally like less than 5 hours long. It doesn't take long. So I mean, if you haven't been playing that much, you've probably been playing it for like an hour or two.
No, the problem is this. Well, not problem. I don't want to call family coming to visit a problem.
Yeah.
But I had in-laws come, so it's one of those things to whereas I got it, I played for a little bit. And in-laws got here. So it's one of those kind of things to whereas I wanted to play it. I really did, but I didn't get to.
I believe you.
But, yeah, it seems
it's a lot of
cool,
fun.
Though.
I do recommend get through the single player because you'll earn more money faster and you won't get owned. If you just jump online, you're going to get owned.
Yeah.
And that way you can, if you beat the single player once, you'll have enough money to buy nearly all the weapons.
Yeah, I'll say
before you get online.
I'll say this. I gave the Vita a hard time last week, but this game does feel like a real first-person shooter. It's a real game made for the Vita. It's not a port. I'm looking forward to finishing and completing it, no matter how long it takes me.
Yeah.
Ashley?
What are you playing?
I picked up Final Fantasy 14, which it's a PS3
Shocker.
title.
Uh-huh.
But I didn't get it on PS3. I got it on PC.
Double shocker.
But it's an MMO. It's a relaunched MMO. It originally launched in 2010, and Square Enix did a terrible, horrible job with it. So bad so that they released 2 public apologies.
We're sorry our game didn't come out nicely.
And they've now relaunched it, and it is so much better. And if you play MMOs or you're interested in MMOs, something like WoW, you're looking for something new, definitely give Final Fantasy 14 a try.
Give it a try, people.
Awesome. Yeah, that's good.
So, did you play anything else, Ashley, before I transition here?
No, that's pretty much all I played this weekend. I was really into it. It's a pretty good game.
You were immersed in the world.
I was. I really was.
So, now, we've talked about gaming. We've agreed and disagreed. Ashley's been a fangirl. Let's talk about something else real quick. Just real quickly. A little segment here we call the sidebar. We talk about movies, music, and other random stuff, except for politics and religion, because we leave those out. I'll start it off. I wanted to see the movie Now You See Me. Jesse Eisenberg, Morgan Freeman, Woody Harrelson, James Franco's little brother. I think his name is Dave Franco. You guys know that one, the magic one? Magic movie?
No.
I've seen it advertised, but yeah. I have.
Oh, wait. Yeah. No, I wasn't paying attention for a second.
Yeah. He's like, I got distracted.
I've seen it twice. Yes.
Oh, you've seen the movie?
Twice. I saw it now. You're talking about Now You See Me, right?
Yeah. What's funny is he's seen the movie, then he act like he didn't know what I was talking about.
I know. That's what I mean. I wasn't paying
say?
attention. I said I wasn't paying attention for a second there. I was looking at something else, something shiny.
Is it worth?
So, yeah,
Is it worth seeing?
Yeah, no, it was fantastic. I saw it in the theater with my buddy. It was super awesome.
Yeah, I heard
great movie.
I heard it was like an underground, like sleeper type movie, of like a sleeper hit. That's what I've heard. So
I didn't see anybody sleeping, but I thought it was a great movie.
Yeah, so I meant to check it out, but guess what happened? I didn't get to do that. So
that's too bad.
Yeah,
no, I highly recommend it. Go see it. Like you've recommended anything to me, I 2.5 times recommend you go see that.
Okay, so I will definitely be doing the digital rent on that and check it out, and I'll have my thoughts.
It's one of those magic movies where it'll keep you guessing and you think you know what's happening, but then you don't. And it's funny because that's how the movie starts. It's I don't remember the exact words, but it's like you got to look close, and when you think you've seen it all, you haven't. And
one of those cliche magician quotes.
Definitely. Yeah, but it's got a nice plot twist, and yeah, it's a good movie. Go watch it.
Okay, but as for what I did get to watch, there's a lot going on in the world of cable TV shows.
Breaking Bad.
No.
Yes.
Dexter is coming to an end. It's my favorite show. Breaking back and hold for a sec. Shut up. I am sad to see it go, but I'm really sad to see it go the way it's going down because the last few episodes have not been that great. If you guys don't know what Dexter is, it's a show about a serial killer who's like a vigilante / normal guy / guy. It's an awesome show. It's coming to an end. It's got one more episode to go. Boardwalk Empire is back.
It's also about a serial killer that never gets caught.
Well, we don't know.
I think
we don't know.
No,
he might get
that's
caught.
the thing. I think that's how it's going to end. Come on, everybody's known for several seasons that's how it's got to end. He's got to get caught, or he has to die, or something like that. It has to end.
He's sort of been caught a couple times throughout the show. That's a whole other story. But Boardwalk Empire, love that show. I don't know if you don't know what Boardwalk Empire is.
I'm interested in it, but
very, very, very good show. It looks like we've got a very, very interesting twist going on here. New villain was revealed this last episode, and this guy, he seems like he's going to be a real formidable opponent for Nucky. If you don't know who Nucky is, Google Boardwalk Empire, Nucky. Finally, Breaking Bad. Oh my God, so good, so good, so good. Breaking Bad is ending. If you don't know who Breaking Bad is, what Breaking Bad is, shame on you. Shame. Great shame.
But at the same time,
Mark
if you're
shames
under
people into watching TV.
Yeah, that's what I do.
But if you're under a certain age, you shouldn't be watching Breaking Bad anyway.
No, an exception needs to be made. You need to watch the show.
We need to remember that some of our listeners are younger, and some of these shows aren't for them.
Nick, we need to sit our daughters down and let them watch drug dealing and murders and all that.
Never.
We need to let them watch that. No, awesome show.
I'm not going to let you tell me what to do, Mark.
Okay. Yeah, it was pretty awesome, though. It's got, 2 more episodes, Ashley?
Yeah, 2 more.
Yeah, Ashley loves Walt. She loves him.
And they're going to have a spin-off, I heard, called Breaking Good.
Better Call Saul.
Better Call Saul. I love Saul. With his lawyer up license plate. You guys catch that in the show? It says lawyer up on his plate.
Yeah.
Yeah, Saul's an awesome character.
Bob Odenkirk really did that character justice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Love that show. So I'm weeping as 2 of my favorite TV shows are getting ready to leave. So that's what I've been doing.
You have a prequel coming.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and I watched Sleepy Hollow yesterday, the premiere for that. It was okay. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah. I watched Riddick in the theater. I mentioned it last week.
Yes.
And we watched it in IMAX. It was okay. I didn't read any of the reviews. I don't like doing that before I've seen a movie, especially if I'm planning on watching it in theater, which is very rare.
Is it a rental or worth going to the movies for?
I would say it's a rental.
Okay.
We watched it in IMAX, which was the most expensive option.
Pay it's like $30 for both of you to get in.
No, it was $18. Come on.
No, I'm talking ridiculous. For both of you, right? It was like
for both of us, $18 a ticket, so it was $36 total. And I was about to Fandango it, which is another $2 on top of that. But thankfully I didn't do that
Yeah,
because it wouldn't have been worth it.
That would have been your GTA money right there.
I know. But yeah, it was a special occasion. It's my buddy's birthday, actually tomorrow, so I was taking him out in advance.
Shout out to Nick's buddy.
Yep, Dave, what's up?
What's up, Dave, bro?
So yeah, it was an okay movie. You know, at the end of it, we're like, yeah, that was Riddick. I mean, if you've watched the other Riddicks, that was a Riddick movie, and it played nicely off the last one, where I guess they crowned him king of, I can't remember the people. I should, but you know, I'm not a convicted Riddick fan, so.
Wait, you didn't shave your head and walk in with goggles to the movie theater?
No, I didn't.
That'd been awesome.
And I think this is like the third week in the theaters or something. Again, I don't keep up on this sort of news, but there was we were one of 3 people in the theater, or 2 of 5 people, I should say, 3 groups of people in the theater, and this is an IMAX theater. I don't know how many people at Howard's, but it's a couple hundred.
Yeah.
Probably
three groups
a few.
of people.
Yeah, probably a few hundred. It's IMAX.
Probably a few hundred. 3 groups of people. It's pretty pathetic. So I think that's going out of the theaters right now. Or it needs to. Get something else in there. But I'm seriously waiting for, as far as TV is concerned, The Walking Dead Season 3 to come to Netflix.
You will not be disappointed, my good sir.
You will not.
Anything could be better.
I'm waiting
season
eagerly
2.
for Season 4.
Yeah. So, awesome. Season 4. Yeah, great.
Ashley,
See you next year.
Did you do anything extra curricular activities?
I mean, I was excited for Breaking Bad, and like I said, I'm eager for Walking Dead Season 4, but I'm not a really big TV and movie person, so...
You've been all over Supernatural. What are you talking about?
Oh, no.
Ashley sits in the corner and like plays her trumpet. I
played Final Fantasy 14 all weekend. I didn't watch movies or TV.
Nothing. You go bar hopping or anything like that? Everybody wants to know, like, you go out to the clubs and you go dancing or anything?
Yeah, what, the redneck club here? No.
Yeah. Dang-a-da-dang-a-da-dang-a-da-dang-a-dang-dang.
No, thank you.
That's a sound bit.
Square dancing? Do a little square dancing or something? No? Throw a 24-ounce beer on the ground? I don't know.
Well, if you made it, as I said before, I'll say it again. If you made it this far, may God have mercy on you. Thanks for listening. You can email us any queries you may have. You can send that to podcast@gamefans.com. Please subscribe to us on iTunes. You can follow us on Twitter if you want to. I'm at Mr. Hearn, Mr. spelled out, MisterHearn. Nick, you are?
I'm at Cosmo Crisis, KOSMOCRISIS. I think that's right.
Ashley, you are?
I am at Overlord Roar.
She refuses to spell that.
I do. If you want to follow me on Twitter, you can go on WiiUDaily and find the info there.
Isn't that cute?
And no stalkers, please.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, folks. Be sure to tip your waitress. Good night.